Coming soon on Long Long Honeymoon, we ceramic coated our Airstream at Vinny's North Bay Airstream Repair. Stay tuned for the full scoop on the biggest upgrade we've ever made to our RV exterior. Hey guys, Sean with Long Long Honeymoon here. Today we're going to talk solar. We have set up camp here in Quartzsite, Arizona. Now you may know Quartzsite is a premier destination for many RV campers during the winter months. Snowbirds like to flock down here because they can sit up in the desert and just enjoy desert scenery and the lovely sounds of Interstate 10 behind us. In this video, I want to give you a full report on our experience with our solar system. You may recall that earlier this year, we had a complete system installed by Ronnie Dennis, who you may know as Airstream Nuts and Bolts. We dove in head first into the deep end with solar. I'm going to go through the good, the bad, and the ugly of a $16,000 solar install. First of all, I want to start out by talking about our solar panels. We had initially installed 4 of these Renogy 100-watt solar panels on our Airstream roof. The Renogy panels are not the sleekest, most aesthetically pleasing on the market. They're kind of thick, they're a little bit bulky, they're less expensive than some other options, but they work. They're very reliable, they're very durable. Yeah, they may not be as low profile as some other solar panels, but they're actually residential solar panels, so they're really built to withstand the weather and hold up under the elements. On one of our first trips with our Airstream after getting the solar, we parked in a shady spot and the rear portion of our trailer was in the shade, and we weren't really getting as much power out of those panels as we might have. So we ended up adding 2 extra panels on the front of the trailer. So now we have 600 watts of solar, in theory, coming in from those solar panels. Now, in the real world, you're never going to get 100% out of your panels. Today, we have 600 watts of solar panels on the roof. We were getting between 100 and 200 watts of solar here in Quartzsite, Arizona in the desert. Why? Because it's the winter, the sun's coming in at an angle. These panels are fixed into place on the roof and can't be rotated to face the sun like some other panels. It's a cloudy day, it's a bit overcast. So I think one of the lessons we've learned is you can never have too much solar panel real estate on your roof. The panels themselves are not a huge ticket expense in a solar system. So I think budgeting a little bit more for these solar panels up front might be a good idea, because you can never have too much on your roof. I think eventually somebody's gonna make an RV where the entire roof is a solar panel. Hello, Elon Musk. And also dust accumulation on the panels. We've been camping in some very dusty environments like Death Valley National Park and here in Quartzsite, and I'm sure that there's been an accumulation of dust on those panels that has reduced their effectiveness. Overall, very happy with those Renogy panels, but you can never have too many of them. Batteries. We installed 4 Battle-Born lithium-ion batteries. These batteries are a huge upgrade over the lead-acid batteries that we were using previously. Each of these Battle-Born batteries provides 100 amp hours of power. We have basically quadrupled our power reserves in our Airstream by installing these 4 Battle-Born batteries. I'm standing at the front of the trailer for a couple of reasons. One, to show you, these are the battery boxes where we previously had our lead-acid batteries stored. They are now empty, and the Battle-Born batteries now reside beneath our couch. One Battle-Born lithium-ion battery is the equivalent, basically, of 2 of those big lead-acid batteries. So we pulled those 2 old batteries out. We also removed the old converter, and we put those 4 lithium-ion batteries beneath our couch. We lost a little bit of storage space beneath the couch because that drawer beneath the couch had to be modified so that the batteries would fit. But the batteries have been great. Not only do they have greater capacity, you can drain them down to a lower level and not damage the batteries. So you don't have to worry about that. They have a 10-year warranty. Now with that said, with all that capacity, how do you recharge those batteries, especially if your solar panels aren't able to get it done? Well, there are a lot of different ways to do it. Of course, you could always plug up your RV to shore power, but another way is to connect your umbilical cable to your tow vehicle. And as you're towing down the highway, you will recharge your lithium batteries. And here's where we ran into our first really significant problem with our solar package. The alternator on our dear, beloved old truck Seymour is not quite up to the task, it seems, of recharging those lithium-ion batteries, because when we plug up this cable to our truck and tow down the highway, within an hour or so, we start to get all the warning signs of dying batteries in our truck, because this is pulling too much electricity from our truck. Our old alternator in the truck is just not up to the task of recharging those power-hungry lithium-ion batteries. So on Seymour's Christmas shopping list is a new alternator. We'll be upgrading to a MechMan 370 amp alternator in the very near future. Stay tuned for that video. Now, once we do that, it's really going to help solve a lot of problems, because we won't be 100% reliant at all times on the sun or shore power to recharge the batteries. I will point out, obviously, you can always connect a good old-fashioned, politically incorrect fossil fuel burning generator to your RV, and that will juice up the batteries. They'll go into kind of a bulk charge mode, and they'll pull about 2,000 watts of electricity from your generator, and then you'll be set. But sort of defeats the purpose of a solar system if you're constantly connecting it to a generator, doesn't it? Some of you are going to ask about weight. By adding 4 batteries, how much weight did you add? Well, not that much. We may have added an additional 15 or 20 pounds of weight, but these lithium-ion batteries weigh less than the lead-acid batteries. We took the old heavy batteries out. We put in 4 new ones. We also took the old converter out. That reduced some more weight, and we put in an inverter. We added a smidgen of weight in terms of these lithium-ion batteries, but we added it in the front of the trailer. Some people, in theory, could choose to put some of this gear in the rear of the trailer, but as you know, that's the worst place to put it from a weight distribution standpoint. So if we did add a little bit of weight, we put it right where it needs to be, up towards the front of the trailer, towards the trailer tongue. That will contribute the least to any kind of trailer sway. And as far as the weight on the roof, those panels are spread out across the roof evenly, and we don't feel it's really affected the balance of the trailer in any significant way, because all of that weight is evenly distributed across the roof. So we've talked about the solar panels on the roof, we've talked about the lithium-ion batteries underneath the couch. Let's talk about the other star of the solar show, and that's the 3,000 watt Victron Energy inverter. This was a game changer for us because our RV did not come equipped from the factory with an inverter. What does an inverter do, pray tell? Well, it inverts DC electricity into AC, so direct current into alternating current. It allows you to power all sorts of appliances. It means all of the AC outlets in our Airstream are now hot, and so we can recharge our laptops, our portable electronic devices, we can run blenders, we can run our microwave oven, and it's just like you're plugged up to shore power, but instead you're plugged up to your lithium-ion batteries and using your inverter to send that electricity out to where it's needed. Every day, if you have one of these packages installed, you're going to be coming back to this handy little screen. I mean, this is a Victron color control. This is not a touch screen. Now, I do believe they make a touch screen model. This is not one. But here you can see a really nice readout that shows you what's going on with your RV with regard to any kind of shore power that you might be getting, any kind of power from the sun. And you can see the sun just set here in Quartzsite, Arizona. So we're getting 0 watts from the sun. And our inverter is on, and it's currently having a 6-watt draw placed upon it, probably recharging some sort of camera battery. And to the lower left, you can see that we have 57% battery power right now in those lithium-ion batteries. And this is towards the end of the day here in Quartzsite. So we've been set up in the desert all day long. We've been getting power from the sun, but we did run our air conditioner a little bit today because it got pretty warm during the middle of the day. And so those batteries were knocked down from a level at around 95% this morning down to 57% right now. What uses the most battery power? Air conditioning and your furnace fan. Obviously, a microwave oven uses a lot of battery power. Your water heater, if you use an electric water heater, will really use a lot of electricity. I'll demonstrate that right now. I'm going to kick on our water heater. Now just watch this screen and we'll look at the demand. So I'm entering the master bathroom suite. Now I just turned on our water heater, and you're gonna see suddenly our AC loads jump up to almost 1400 watts. Our lithium batteries are screaming in pain right now and just got knocked down to 56%. And I'm gonna also point out we have our so-called boogie lights on right now. The boogie lights are drawing 180 watts. Our refrigerator is on gas right now. If I were to switch it over to AC electricity, watch what happens. We're going to see the impact of turning on the refrigerator or switching it from propane over to AC. So now we're drawing 1700 watts of electricity. So you can knock down even a hardy lithium ion bank of batteries pretty quickly if you run this sort of stuff. So we actually never use our electric water heater. I just turned it back off. And we typically run our refrigerator off propane. That's a personal choice. You probably could get by running a refrigerator off AC electricity, but I think you'd be knocking down your batteries. So some of you may ask about the batteries. Are 4 lithium batteries enough? I think they have been enough for most of our purposes. Now, if we're running air conditioning, those batteries can't power a 13,500 BTU air conditioner for more than 3 or 4 hours. And I'm talking about constantly running it. Now, if you were just to run it, sort of cool off the temperature inside your RV and then turn off the air conditioner, of course you can stretch them out longer. I think with the batteries, it's kind of like with the solar panel. You could probably never have too much. I know some people might install 6 of those lithium batteries. Some people might install 10, but you do run into limits of storage space and where you want to put that weight. And by the way, money, because those batteries are $1,000 a piece. Now, with regard to the Victron color control, overall, this is a really impressive system. Overall, I love it, but it's not very intuitive to use. If you don't have an electrical engineering degree, then you may find it confusing at times to navigate a lot of these different menus. There's an app that you can get, and in fact, an app that you sort of must get if you're gonna have one of these systems, and you can control a lot of the features of the Victron system using the app. One problem we have had with this system, it got out of sync with our batteries, and one night we were awakened with a low battery warning. I went to microwave a burrito or something like that, and suddenly the microwave shut off and we got a flashing warning signal that the batteries were low. And I checked the battery percentage and it said we had 60% battery remaining. What happened? Well, what happened was this percentage was inaccurate because it had not been synchronized using that app. So what you have to do is plug up to shore power or a generator and get your batteries up to float charge status and then resynchronize, and this should be an accurate readout. See, we were having this problem. It'd be kind of like if in your tow vehicle you thought you had a half a tank of fuel and actually you were running on empty. A couple of nice additions to this color panel. First of all, up top, okay, here we go. So I can toggle through some different features up here. The most important that's really useful is you can look at this display and see how long you could run your batteries and your system given the current demand on the system. So it's saying that we could run for another basically 15 hours. It's constantly recalculating depending upon the demand how long you could run your batteries before you basically run out of electricity. So that's kind of a useful reference point to have. The other huge upgrade is we added this little multi-control. This has been kind of a game changer because we no longer have to dive into those confusing menus when we want to turn on and off the inverter or switch it over into charge only mode. You can see right now the inverter is on. If I wanted to, I could turn the inverter off with the flick of a switch, or I could flip it over into charger only mode, which is another really useful feature. So like if you don't want the inverter on at all and you just want to juice up your batteries, you flip it over into charger only mode. But just being able to do this with a switch has been a great addition to this system. And we can also dial in and an assist level. Let's say we're getting 30 amps of shore power. We can say anything over 30 amps, the system could assist. So if we're running an air conditioner and then we want to run the microwave oven and run a blender and we're drawing more than 30 amps, this system will actually kick in and help assist shore power. So it's really nice because you don't have to worry nearly as much about tripping a circuit breaker or anything like that. So overall, I love the Victron. This edition I would highly recommend. It was a very nice upgrade, and now it's much more intuitive to use. So I just want to share with you a few thoughts about having a solar system that is this nice and powerful and how it has changed our travel experience. For one thing, it's meant a whole lot less schlepping. And I mean schlepping the power cable in and out of the trailer to plug up to a generator, schlepping around gasoline to fill up the generator. We've used our generator a lot less. We have still carried our generator and we have still occasionally used it, but it has been an incredible convenience and luxury to have electricity ready to go any time of day with the flick of a switch and with no noise. You know, there are times when you're in campgrounds, you can't run a generator even if you wanted to after 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. or whatever the rules may be. And it's really nice if you want that midnight bean burrito to be able to go and just fire up the microwave without having to schlep a cord out or worry about noise. So that is an incredible convenience. Another convenience I have noticed is if we're packing up to leave a campsite and I want to go ahead and just start packing away everything outside. You know, in the past, I might be reluctant to unplug from shore power because I didn't want to, for example, turn off the outlets in the camper, or I didn't want to turn off the air conditioner. Now I can just unplug from shore power prior to leaving and know that we're still going to have electricity inside the camper. Another great convenience is when you're about to arrive at a campsite. Let's say you're 30 minutes out from a campsite and it's kind of a warm day and the interior of your RV is hot. Well, you might stop, you might refuel your tow vehicle and just kick on the air conditioner in your RV. When you arrive at the campground, you're going to have a cool camper. So there are a lot of lifestyle conveniences that come with having a system like this. When it comes to the money, sure, we probably have saved some money. There's no doubt about it in terms of less fuel for the generator and especially fewer campground costs. We don't really need typically to stay in full hookup campgrounds for electricity anymore. We are able to exist for longer periods of time off the grid in these boondocking sites that we love, like if not Quartzsite, the Alabama Hills in California, let's say Death Valley National Park. You know, electricity is no longer something that we need as a hookup nearly as often. Now, a lot of people are going to say $16,000, that's too much. It's all a personal decision. For a lot of guys, their Airstream or their RV is their boat. It is their classic car. It is their vacation condo. It is their happy place. And if you're one of those people and you got the money and you want that luxury and convenience, I can tell you it is incredibly nice and will really make your RV travels much more enjoyable. For other people who maybe are going full-time and you plan to spend a lot of time off the grid, it's incredibly nice to have a robust solar package installed in your RV. You know, for full-timers and the people who really want to come set up in quartzsite for long periods of time, makes total sense to have solar. Now, if you are a weekend warrior and you get your RV out every once in a while and you go out to the local campground and there are already hookups, yeah, you probably don't need to invest 16 grand in a solar package. So it's up to the individual, and it's not really a right or wrong. I can tell you there have been exciting advancements in the technology. When we first started RV camping many years ago, solar was not nearly so attractive as it is today. It's really cool technology and really enhances our lifestyle when we're traveling with the RV. I'm not really pretending that it's saving the planet. You know, I don't get bent out of shape over somebody running a generator, but I think it's super cool and it's a lot of fun to use, and it really has made our RV travels much more enjoyable. So I would highly recommend it. And yes, there are benefits to the environment in terms of fewer fossil fuels being burned and so forth. So that's it, guys. A look at our solar system that was installed by Ronnie Dennis, also known as Airstream Nuts and Bolts. We're happy with it. What about you? Do you have solar in your RV? A lot of people around us here in Quartzsite have gone the solar route. I'd be curious to hear about your experiences in the real world with your solar package. Are you happy with it? Is it getting it done for you? Or do you feel like the technology is not quite there yet? Let me know, post a comment and post any questions, and I'll bet Ronnie will probably jump in there and answer your questions for you if you have questions for him. Till next time, thanks for tuning in. Here on Long Honeymoon, we wave strange hand signals and we say, lo lo ho. I'm gonna try to be caffeinated today. Hey guys! A little too much caffeine.